Republican presidential candidates reacting to this big news out of Colorado, barring Donald Trump from the ballot in the state's primary as they jockey for votes. 26 days to go until Iowa caucus day. The former president has opened up a big lead over his GOP rivals. 67% support in the new Quinnipiac University poll out today. Nikki Haley also getting a bump, now tied with Florida Governor Ron DeSantis there at 11%. Nikki Haley, Republican presidential candidate, joining me now, former ambassador to the UN and former South Carolina governor. Governor, good to have you with us. Thank you very much for joining us today. Do you think that this is an injustice, this Colorado decision, and do you think it's wrongly decided by this court?
Thank you, Martha. I think this is, it goes back to our country being in disarray. The idea that judges are going to take it upon themselves to decide who can and can't be on the ballot is truly unthinkable. And I think the people of Colorado should be furious. I am going to defeat Donald Trump on my own. I don't need a judge to go take him off the ballot. I don't think he should be president. I think I should be president. I think our country would do a lot better if I was. But we should have this race fair and square with him on the ballot just like everybody else. And the idea that we would go and say, just because these liberal justices don't like him, they want to take him off the ballot, that's not a democracy. That's not who we are. That's not what we need to do.
So you were talking on the campaign trail in Iowa about how chaos follows the former president everywhere he goes. And I was just talking with, you may have heard the tail end of it while you were waiting for our discussion, from Karl Rove. And, he's saying, look, the chaos is fueling Trump's numbers. People seem to want that. They seem to want to rail against the system that is trying to shut him down. So what do you say to that when voters say, look, you know what? I know how he feels. I get a bad deal, too, and I'm going to stick up for him. What do you say to them?
That's not what they're saying. I mean, we've done over 140 town halls now. Okay. And, even talking about this situation, I think what they're saying is Americans are tired. They don't want the chaos anymore. They don't want this to happen. And, look, I have said, I think President Trump was the right president at the right time. I do agree with a lot of his policies. But rightly or wrongly, and again, this is wrong what Colorado did, chaos does follow him. And we can't have a country in disarray and a world on fire and go through 4 more years of chaos. We won't survive it. You don't defeat Democrat chaos with Republican chaos. And it's time that we get things on track. But people feel so harshly about him, or so much the other way, that's why you see in general election head-to-heads, Trump and Biden are within the margin of error. I think the Wall Street Journal said he was up 4 points. Yeah. I defeat Biden by 17 points in that same poll. That would be a mandate. That's a mandate not just for the presidency, for the House, for the Senate, for governor's races, but it's a mandate to get our economy back on track and pay down this debt. It's a mandate to get our kids reading again and make sure we get back to the basics in school. It's a mandate to close our border and make sure there's no excuses. It's a mandate for law and order in this country, and it's a mandate for a strong America that we can be proud of. Americans want it. We can feel it on the ground. The energy is there. They don't want the chaos. My approach is different. No drama, no vendettas, no whining. It's all about results, and I think that's what the American people want.
So what about when it comes to some of the serious situations that we're facing at our southern border and also in the Red Sea, which is obviously that's a battle with Iran, which is quite clear. For the border first, I find it really amazing. I talked to 2 of our top senators in Washington this week, and you listen to what's coming out of the White House. There's not a solution-based, here's what we need to do, or the president needs to employ this executive order tomorrow. If you were sitting there right now watching this, if you the inauguration was today, what would you do? How would you manage this thing? Because people are so infuriated about it.
They should be infuriated. We just had our highest daily total, 12,600 illegal immigrants in one day. That is such a dereliction of duty. I would go and pull them into a room and say, you're not going home for the holidays until we fix this. It is unthinkable that Congress is going home when we've got that national security risk sitting on our border. America is acting like it's September 10th. We better remember what September 12th felt like, because it only takes one. We need to secure our border once and for all. We need to defund sanctuary cities. We need to put 25,000 more Border Patrol and ICE agents on the ground and let them do their job. We need to go back to the Remain in Mexico policy so that no one steps foot on our U.S. soil. And instead of catch and release, we need to go to catch and deport. No excuses. The American people have had enough of this.
Well, you heard the former president say that he would be a dictator only on day one. He said he would shut the border down. Is that something that would be in your power as president? And how would you do it?
Well, I think the way I approached it, just what I said, is how we would do it. You don't let anybody come across the border that hasn't been vetted. It's not about being a dictator. It's about understanding that we are a country of laws. The second you stop being a country of laws, you give up everything that this country was founded on. And that's why all these illegal immigrants that have come over, they all have to go back. They all have to be deported. Because every time you let someone stay, they call their family members, and it signals for the rest of them to come. You're incentivizing people right now to make that trek. We've got to start making examples of these people by deporting them back. That's the only way to get this to stop. Biden gave 500,000 Venezuelans temporary protective status. That's 500,000 social security numbers. That's 500,000 driver's licenses. I know what happens. When I was at the United Nations, that is the signal that they go tell their families, come on over. They're going to let you through. This has got to end. And Republicans and Democrats owe it to the people of America to put a stop to this border. And they should not go home right now. They should get in a room. And Biden should be ashamed of himself. You can't have a president who doesn't watch out for the safety of the American people. He owes the American people an answer as to why he won't do what's needed to close off the border.
Thank you very much, Governor Nikki Haley. 26 days to go. We hope to have lots of conversations with you between now and then. It's a big moment that is coming in Iowa as we kick all of this off. Thank you very much, Governor. Merry Christmas if I don't see you in the next few days, but we'll look forward to seeing you after that.